In today's video, we're going to be taking a look here at these current conditions, diving into the upcoming pattern. There is some severe weather as well to speak of. Now, let's get straight into things, though. And first things first, we're taking a look here at our current radar imagery. There is some isolated activity all the way up into Oregon there, down California, and into the Four Corner States. But really, for the Four Corner States, this is not as much activity as we have been seeing. If you live there, you know this. It's a little bit quieter, but seeing precipitation there is still kind of a rare thing. We see for Montana down through South Dakota, there is some isolated and scattered activity there as well. We will zoom into all of these regions. I understand you can't really see it right now, but we will zoom in. There is some heavier precipitation, and probably the most major storminess that we're seeing in the United States currently is here for states like Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, and even spreading into Kentucky and Tennessee as well. And then we can see for the deeper south, there is just these tropical thunderstorms happening, but not quite as many as we've been seeing. Actually, a lot of this is onshore at this point. Now we can see offshore the Northeast and even some onshore there. We do see some activity up there as well. Let's just start out in the Northwest and zoom into some of these different regions. We can see some isolated activity started moving onshore to Oregon, is now kind of heading towards Portland there. It's been a little bit quieter for precipitation for you guys, so we're going to get a little bit more at this point. We can see also for kind of south central Oregon and northwestern, or better yet, northeastern California there, we do see some isolated showers up there as well. As we move down California, we can see for the San Francisco Bay Area, we are seeing isolated showers and thunderstorms around. And then even down further south in California near LA and areas mostly east of LA, we are seeing some showers around also for these regions. Now, as we move down here to the southern Four Corner States, we can see some isolated showers and thunderstorms here. We can see they are scattered about pretty sparsely, so you're kind of lucky if you get one of these. Flagstaff, I see some of those near you guys. Phoenix, I think you guys dodged them, and also Albuquerque dodged them for the most part, but there is some areas in there that are seeing those. Now, as we move up towards the Dakotas and Montana here, we can see for Montana, it mostly looks like showers and then maybe some isolated thunderstorms near I-94 here. So again, maybe some isolated thunderstorms in there. But definitely for northern South Dakota and southern North Dakota there, we were definitely seeing some isolated thunderstorms around. And these have kind of intensified actually over the last couple of hours. And I don't know if they will dissipate or not, but they look to be going strong right now. They're heading northward towards a little bit more flat than that, but kind of like this towards I-94. Wouldn't be surprised if Fargo there ends up getting these later on today. Now, for that heavy storm that we're seeing, we can see all the way from states like Texas, Kansas, and Oklahoma there. We can see spreading all the way through Arkansas and even up into Tennessee, Kentucky, states like Missouri seeing some of these as well. Up here on the northern end of things, kind of north of this line, this looks more like showers to me. There is some in here that look more like thunderstorms. But you see this flow coming in from the south northward like this. These look a lot more like thunderstorms to me. Look at how they, this is actually really fascinating. Look right here. Watch how fast these spark up right there from west to east. That is so fascinating. Watch this. Boom. It's like somebody unscrewed the lid on these thunderstorms, and we really see them popping up and heading north, kind of northeastward here. We can see that some of these on the southern end here are kind of looking like thunderstorms as well in this pocket as well. So we see some populated regions in there as well. And we're seeing some of these over here looking like thunderstorms near Jonesboro, also kind of heading towards Memphis, Tennessee. Now, let's take a look because we see that a lot of these are onshore. We also see these kind of exploding, similar to how those ones in Texas did. Really just all of a sudden start to really spread out. And we're seeing isolated and scattered thunderstorms all over the place for coastal Texas, areas in southern Louisiana, areas in southern Mississippi there, and southern Alabama, as well as the Florida Panhandle over here as well. We're seeing some of this activity. We also see some isolated showers all around for these deeper south states. Let's take a look at Florida. We see offshore of the west coast of Florida there, we see a lot of activity. And now the east coast of Florida is seeing some isolated activity heading onshore. Nothing you guys aren't used to, though. Now we see some of this similar activity going on for a lot of these regions. And here, just these isolated little thunderstorms popping up. We saw some of these for North Carolina, especially coastal North Carolina earlier this morning, but those have kind of come to an end at this point. And as we look at the northeast, we see last but not least, we see some isolated thunderstorms going on here for northern Maine there. Isolated showers and thunderstorms, and also some isolated showers here in New York we see popping up. Those could spark into thunderstorms later on, but they look like they have dissipated. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at the upcoming pattern as well as some severe weather. Maybe we are taking a look at the upcoming pattern. Let's move it towards this afternoon. We can see a lot of these pockets in here kind of spread with some precipitation. The further south and east you go, the more of it we see. We still see showers and thunderstorms up there, and very, very isolated thunderstorms for the four corner states, maybe even just showers, honestly. Now, for tomorrow on Sunday, July 31st, the afternoon hour, we see through the plains all the way into the mid-Atlantic, we're seeing this kind of stationary front head through. Showers, thunderstorms will be possible, and there looks a little heavy actually as well. We see for the deeper south, these tropical thunderstorms return, and then for the four corner states and surrounding western regions, we see that this precipitation actually returns as well, a lot heavier this time around rather than today. Now for Monday, August 1st, we see a lot of activity for these regions in here. We still see these tropical thunderstorms in there, and then a lot quieter out west in general. Now for Tuesday, August 2nd, we could see that for these areas in here, we see quite a bit of activity. But not a whole lot else. We see a little bit here for the Rockies, but outside of those two regions, we're not seeing much of anything, honestly. Wednesday, August 3rd, I think the biggest feature here is this low here. This could extend a cold front down just like this. I can tell by the jet stream that there is some sort of something happening in there. We do see that there is some thunderstorms isolated and scattered around for the southeast here. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a cold front develop here. Yeah, there it goes. So we see briefly 991 millibar low pressure center there. We see a cold front stretching down like this. We also see some precipitation in general for the northwest, which has been an area that has not seen quite as much lately. So that is actually quite interesting at this point. Now for Friday, we see mostly scattered and isolated activity here in the eastern United States in general. We see a bit happening here in the four corner states, and this low up there in the northwest is definitely impacting these regions with some precipitation the further north and west you go in the United States. Now for Saturday, August 6th, we see the southwest dealing with some precipitation. Again, it has been a stormy summer for you guys. We see a lot of precipitation in this region, kind of south of this low up here in Canada. So we're seeing some things go on there. Now by Sunday, the 7th of August, we can see there's quite a bit of storminess in a couple of areas here, primarily the four corner states here and the surrounding southwestern states there. And then also we can see along the Gulf Coast and for the southeastern corner here of the nation, we see quite a bit of activity happening with isolated and scattered thunderstorms here. Keep in mind, as we get to the longer range here, practically beyond 200 hours or so, you usually want to take it with a grain of salt because it is a little bit further on in the model run here. But we're still going to pay attention just in case there's a decent chance that it is semi-correct. We can see that for Monday here, August 8th, we see quite a bit of activity still for the southeastern corner. So the one thing we can take away here is that this model is predicting quite a bit of activity in here. Now, it might not look the same. That's the part that's going to be hard for it to be accurate. It might not look the same. However, the trend of storminess in the southeast is a much higher probability of being correct. We can also see some isolated and lighter activity here in the four corner states. And that's basically the end of our model run. Now for the total precipitation through the next 10 days, here we are taking a look at it, and we can see anywhere in the whites we're expecting practically no precipitation. Your grays will be about 1/10 of an inch or less of precipitation. Your greens will be about 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Your blues will be 1/2 an inch to an inch. Your yellows will be 1 inch to 2 inches. Your reds will be 2 to 5 inches, and then your browns will be 5 to 10 inches of precipitation. We can see a lot of that happening for the four corner states and the southeastern states, as well as some of the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast. The reds primarily is where you're going to be above average precipitation. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at the upcoming temperature pattern. Now, here we are taking a look at this. This is for today. We can see some below normal temperatures around for the eastern United States down through the four corner states. And this is primarily due to that cold front that has come through, and it's unleashing cold air into these regions, cooler air that is. Now this is going to feel quite pleasant, but it will come to an end eventually. We can see out west things are much hotter than normal. That's kind of the trend right here. We can see for July 31st here, the final day of July, we could see some cooler air in here, but it's going to start to dissipate quickly. We can see hot temperatures still for the western United States. That's also going to come to a change. Now by the time we're reaching August 1st here, which will be Monday, We see slight amounts of cooler air still around, but hardly anything. Warmth really spreading in, especially in the north there. Still warm in the west as well. Now, by Tuesday the 2nd, we start to see some blues popping up for regions in the west. Usually this means that this heat is going to transfer to the east. So we'll watch that unfold here. Now, for Wednesday the 3rd, we see this cold spreading even further. This is called a negative PNA. Again, this causes the heat to head further eastward, and we can see that primarily the heat is in the east here, so that is staying true here. Thursday the 4th, we see a lot of heat throughout all of these areas, especially the further north you go. Now, much cooler here for the west. This is going to feel very, very nice, by the way. Friday the 5th here, we can see plenty of this heat going on still for these regions. Really cool here in these greens and those deeper purple shades. That's going to be really far below normal. It's going to feel very, very pleasant, I'm sure, especially after the temperatures you guys are dealing with. Now, for Saturday the 6th, we see this transfers a little bit further eastward. Some warmth is spreading into the west. This could mean that the heat is going to move out. So that could mean that, and cold is going to head further eastward, although this isn't a super strong signal. And actually, to me, what I'm seeing is this cold almost looks to be trying to move back into this region. So this can happen as well, where it kind of starts to shift eastward and then changes its mind, it seems, a little bit. We see this heat still continuing on, especially the further north you go in the central and eastern United States here. Sunday the 7th, that is. Now for Monday the 8th, we see the cooler temperatures hanging out over the four corner states, and still a lot of heat here in the northeast and north central United States there. So that's the upcoming temperature pattern. Let's go ahead and move on and talk about some upcoming severe weather. Now here we are taking a look. If you're anywhere in the lighter greens here, we have a general thunderstorm risk for today on Saturday, July 30th. This means that general thunderstorms are expected, no severe weather is expected, but anything is possible, so heat every watch, warning, and advisory. We do have a darker green region up there for Montana and North Dakota. That is where we have a marginal risk at severe weather and expect isolated severe weather to occur. Now for day 2 here, which will be Sunday, July 31st, we have that lighter green region once more, where again, general thunderstorms are expected, but anything is possible, heat every watch, warning, and advisory. And then we have the 2 darker green regions there, one for Minnesota and Wisconsin, and then one there for North Carolina. That is where we expect isolated severe weather to occur on Sunday, July 31st. Now for Monday, August 1st here, we have, again, the lighter green region where you're still going to want to heat every watch, warning, and advisory, but it is a general thunderstorm risk. And then we have the 2 darker green regions once again, one for Oregon there, and then one here for kind of the Ohio Valley into the plains. This is our marginal risk area where we expect isolated severe weather to occur. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. For today's confidence tab, we are at a 4 out of 6. The tropics have been so quiet, it's been almost shocking, and I'm going to be very curious to see what happens after we get out of this, if it'll explosively unfold or if we will see a quieter season overall. I don't know what I think necessarily will happen, but I am very curious to see. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our Platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dova Nagel, Larry the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I'd also to thank our Diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Alyssa Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Garys, and John Khaleesi also. I'd also to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.